Probably would help if I start the theme tune from the beginning.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Giga.
We're listening to that sweet theme tune. Oh, that thing gets me every time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PodChamp PodCast, live from across the United States and Canada. Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well today. We have Alex, Giga, Quig, and that's me, and Starfish with us today.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo.
All right, so we have some fun stuff today. We have some news items we're going to go over, and then we have a main topic, which today is what stuff? What is our main topic?
Whoa, if you don't know that, then we have a problem. Our main topic today is the Fair Play Alliance.
Thank you. Apologies for just throwing that to you and putting you on the spot there. All right, so we'll get started in the usual way. We'll do quick little introductions and any kind of highlights from gaming or our life in general. And then we'll get into the news items, and then we'll hit our main topic. I think that's the plan today. So I'm going to go in the order that the names are shown on the screen. So Alex, tell us what's going on with you.
Boy, howdy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I have been playing Fortnite, matter of fact. That's what I just finished streaming. We spent 5 hours in Fortnite.
Yeah, I hear that game's
which
pretty popular these days.
Good choice, man. Good choice.
I would say calling Fortnite popular is maybe the understatement of the millennia. Since I'm a teacher, my kids won't shut up about it, and of course, it's blown up and taken over Twitch. So,
Real teacher question right now. Like, how many fucking times a week do you get asked your battle tag to play Fortnite? Like, for real?
Dude, well, they haven't asked me because I've been low key about it, but I had to tell 2 kids to stop playing it on their phones this week. Stop playing Fortnite, and this is a little bit of a diversion, but they actually like incorporate Fortnite in so I'll have an assignment and it'll be like, hey, make some Valentine's Day cards for Valentine's Day, and then make Valentine's about Fortnite. I tell them to make a program where you give input to a program, and then based on what you say, it gives you a different response. And then so they make a program that asks you whether or not Fortnite is better or PUBG is better, and then it gives you an answer based on what you say. They put it in everything.
That's
if
awesome.
I taught a math class, they'd be doing math about ammo and like drop off distances and shit because I can't win. So I finally bit the bullet, no pun intended, and I started playing the game. And it's pretty fun. It feels unintuitive to me. It's one of those games where, like, it doesn't give you a tutorial or anything, and you kind of you just learn it. It's kind of like how MOBAs were at the very beginning. It's like you don't learn how to play the game from the game. You just somehow you either trial by fire or you watch somebody else play it until you know how to play it, and then you play it. We got our first win today. We got our first squad win, so that was pretty fun. I had never won before.
Good, man.
Yeah, so and I contributed to some extent, so that was cool. I don't know how much longer I'll play it. I definitely would not be playing it if it weren't free, and I would say that probably has a bit to do with its success. But yeah, overall, it's been an interesting new exposure, and it's definitely fun in groups. I was having a blast.
Great. Yeah, I haven't tried it myself, but I've watched a bunch of people playing it, and there's just like every news story I was looking at this week about different stuff was either about PUBG or Fortnite in some way or another. So yeah, it seems to be taking over the world.
Yeah.
Hey Rux, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
That is the opposite of letting him sneak.
Yeah. Don't draw attention to the fact I'm late already. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, you know how this works. No,
Just keep
okay.
it cool, man. Real cool.
Here's the deal. I'm trying to have everything arranged on my screen so I can't see Discord right now. So if you said something in Discord, I apologize. All right. So moving on. Giga, how about you? How's it going?
Hey, you're gonna be really surprised, man. But I
Am I?
played Fortnite.
Did you? Okay.
Whoa!
That's crazy.
I actually think it's gonna become my mainstream game. I'm
Nice.
pretty sure. Because last week actually I've been on kind of a challenge. I was trying to get 1 win a day, which I did. At least 1 win a day. So I'm at like 15 total wins approximately right now. So yeah, it's a bit addictive. Not gonna lie. I've also tried actually, just not so we don't only talk about Fortnite.
Right.
I've actually tried a game called The Console for a couple hours. It's very interesting because it's a mix between like an adventure game and a story game and an RPG. So depending on the classes you choose and the skills you choose to upgrade, there's some part of the stories that you won't be able to reach, or some characters you won't be able to get answers from because you're not like a class that they respect or something like that. So it's a bit, the delivery about it, the game is a bit clunky, but it's a neat idea for pushing story games. And like I'm curious to see what this studio will do on the next game, but it's pretty good.
All right. So moving on to myself, haven't actually been playing a lot of games recently. I suppose, and this will surprise absolutely no one, I've mostly been playing Hearthstone in the few times that I have been playing games. So that's about it. So nothing too interesting for me. How about you, Starfish?
I actually was traveling all last week, so I haven't played a whole ton of games this week. But what I did
Any
do,
books? Any books?
Yeah. You're kind of a cool book person, right? So.
what I did do is I finally got my allied races unlocked in WoW, so I'm pretty excited about that one.
Okay.
I didn't actually read any books last week on the plane. I was exhausted. I was sleeping.
Okay. So I'm jealous that you've unlocked your allied races because I still don't have flying. So in
we can
Legion.
work on that. I'm just saying.
Well, someone told me that we need to pack boxes to move, so I don't think I'm gonna have much time to do that.
Oh yeah, we probably should do that first.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, Rux. Introductions. Any kind of cool new games you've been playing?
All of the games I've been playing, I wouldn't consider new.
Yeah. Anything interesting?
Like, I can't remember because I've played so many different ones. Basically, I've just been playing every like PS4 game that I've owned that I've decided never to get trophies in because I'm a trophy whore apparently.
Okay.
I played the Burnout Paradise remaster.
Yeah, I loved that game back in the day. How does it match up on the PS4?
It's really hard to tell whether I have problems with it because it's been remastered, or the fact that the game was like this to begin with. Because Burnout Paradise is one of those games where it's just basically race point to point, but sometimes you'll just crash into like a wall in the middle of the road because you're going so fast and the color palette isn't different at all that you just crash into things.
Gotcha.
I don't know if the remaster has made that more difficult to spot, or the game has always been like that.
Right. Yeah.
Is it actually? Oh, sorry, Craig.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say. I'm trying to think now because I used to play a bunch of the different Burnout games. I used to like the crash mode thing where you try and you specifically have really bad crashes, right? That's the aim of the mode.
Yeah, that was the third one. It's Burnout 3.
Burnout 3 was the one you used to play all the time.
I love. That game has
Is
an
it
amazing
available on
soundtrack.
PC?
So.
It used to have an amazing soundtrack for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it available on PC, Rex? Because I think the original game was available on PC, right? The first Burnout Paradise. I think it was PS3, Xbox 360, and PC, right?
I'm not particularly sure, to be honest. I know Paradise, I think, was on PC.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
I'm not sure about the second one. Well, the remaster. Maybe in the future, or it's out now. Either way, I've not really looked into it because I brought it on my PS4, and
Yeah.
I'm not making money.
I see Burnout Paradise, the Ultimate Box on Steam right now, but I don't know if that's the remaster or not. Probably not.
But yeah, besides that, I've just been playing Monster Hunter World and stuff like that, really.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's us. Anchor and Wolf are not joining us today. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to move on into our news segment, which we kind of introduced a couple of weeks ago. And in this segment, we're going to go through little news stories that we've noticed, things that we think are kind of interesting. And thank you so much to Starfish for compiling all of these in our Trello too. So Starfish is kind of our, I don't know what to call it, our archivist. Let's put it that way. She notices all the little stories that are going on, monitors those, and collects them all and puts them in Trello for us to review and talk about. So let's go forward on that. And the first item is Twitch extensions now on mobile. So this Thursday, Twitch released an update to the official Twitch mobile app to add support for Twitch extensions. Developers do have to actively update their extensions to support mobile, so it might be a while before your favorite extension is available on the mobile app. That said, according to both Engadget and Shack News, Streamlabs, Schedule, and the World of Warcraft Armory extensions are all already available and supported on mobile. You'll need version 6.0 of the Twitch mobile app on either Android or iOS to use the extensions. So that's kind of an interesting story. I mean, I figured at some point extensions would come to mobile, but it's good to see that. All right. Moving on, new esports arena on the Vegas Strip. So this is interesting. Allied Esports unveiled the first dedicated esports arena on the Las Vegas Strip this week. It's located at the Luxor, and events started this weekend. Allied has partnered with MGM Resorts International to launch the new arena. MGM Resorts is already known as being one of the most esport-friendly casino companies, having both hosted competitions in existing arenas and actually has a section of the MGM Grand Casino floor called Level Up. So I did a little research on Level Up, and it's a specific space on the casino floor dedicated to gaming, has hosted various esports tournaments. They have some virtual reality gaming areas there too. And given the MGM partnership and MGM's history and experience with gaming, we're hoping this will be an success. And there's a little picture I just put up on the screen there as well of the arena, or the entrance to the arena, because that doesn't look like much there. So I'm not sure what we're looking at, but that was the picture from the official story about this, the official announcement. So it's kind of interesting. All right.
It's nice to see a lot more esports arenas getting developed, because Blizzard has their dedicated arena,
right,
where they're hosting the whole first season of OWL, and then we're getting to see. My understanding is they're getting ready to build a brand new one in Arlington.
Yes.
I think they're raising money, or like putting forth a bond. I think I saw a concept image of it.
Jerry's got money. It's fine.
Yeah, and so it'd be cool to have like a home stadium for Dallas Fuel, because that's the thing I really want right now. Is we've got two hometown Overwatch League teams here in Texas, and I would love to be able to go to a venue to see them. But as of right now, I haven't heard any plans for a Houston venue. Sounds like the Dallas one is maybe in formative stages. So it's like, how long is it going to take before we're actually going to get to do this? Or is it just going to be kind of like, we just, rent a convention center for the weekend and that's where we have our event? You know what I mean?
But where's the London Stadium and the Shanghai Stadium?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. The actual, I didn't read the press release for this because there's a lot of junk in there about being kind of a world first esports arena kind of thing. And I'm like, kind of, I guess, but not really.
Yeah, I think it was more about being like wrapped in with the MGM and being like a destination in itself
Right.
that is the world first piece on that. I did think it was interesting that this one was game agnostic.
Right.
Like it wasn't specifically for League or Blizzard games or whatever.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. All right, moving on. Winner, chicken dinner. So this story is about KFC giving away chicken to PlayerUnknown's Battleground fans on Twitch. So winner, chicken dinner became a reality this week when KFC teamed up with Twitch for a special PUBG event. On Saturday and Sunday, Twitch viewers who watched Scariel, Sequisha, Anthony Kong Fan, and Dr. Lupo stream PUBG could use a special KFC chicken bucket emote in chat, as shown on the screen right now. If they used this emote in chat when the streamer won a match, they were entered to win a $20 KFC gift card. Additionally, those streamers were also handing out KFC-themed loot crates for viewers of their streams. According to cybersport.com, these loot crates contained the following physical items that will be mailed to the winners, and this just cracked me up. I was reading this. So a Colonel Sanders ghillie suit, a survival spork, a skillet, a mask, a $50 KFC gift card, and a med kit full of KFC gift cards. So apparently,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, they're actually gonna mail this out to people. I'm really curious as to what the Colonel Sanders ghillie suit looks like. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. But there you go. Mainstream joining teams with Twitch to. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. What else can you say about that?
I'm just imagining how the fucking suit looks like.
It's it's a beautiful. Okay, Starfish, did you just post a picture of it?
So it's not the Colonel Sanders one. I just wasn't familiar with what a ghillie suit was, so I had to go look it up. I thought perhaps other people also weren't familiar with that term.
There you go. For people on the people viewing the stream, I just put that. There you go. Put that on the screen for you. So that's what a ghillie suit looks like. So
it is not Colonel Sanders themed in this
right.
picture, though. So I don't know what that kind of crossover looks like.
Yeah, I'm only imagining some kind of beautiful red and white striped. Yeah, that's just gonna be amazing.
I imagine that seeing somebody in a Colonel Sanders ghillie suit would be the absolute worst way, or that would be like the worst thing to see right before you die. Like somehow the camo is more comforting. It's like, okay, well, he's like a serious military man. Right. But like fucking Chicken Man pops out and like takes me down. I'm gonna be bummed out.
I feel like if you don't see the Colonel Sanders ghillie suit before it kills you,
right,
you probably deserve to die.
He pops out and says some KFC stuff like, "I'm gonna fill you up right," and you're like, "No, get away from me!"
Just instead of a flamethrower, it's just like a gravy gun or something.
Oh boy, that's amazing. All right, next story. So Drake and Ninja broke the Twitch record. So it's been revealed that on March 14th, Drake and Ninja broke the all-time Twitch record for number of concurrent viewers. According to the New York Times, the stream maxed out at 630,000 viewers, destroying the previous record of 388,000 concurrent viewers. So Ninja actually has the largest number of followers on Twitch at 4.25 million. Interestingly enough, 2.1 million of those followers have been gained in the last 30 days. He averages 100,000 viewers a stream playing Fortnite. So he teamed up. So Drake teamed up with Ninja on the 14th playing Fortnite. They were later joined by rapper Travis Scott and Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. Apparently, Drake has been playing Fortnite for a couple of weeks during breaks from recording in the studio. So there you go, a beautiful picture of Ninja and Drake there on the screen.
You know the crazy thing about that scene. I don't know if you guys actually took a few minutes to watch it, but like, holy shit, it's not that much of the. Did you see the fucking Twitch Prime subs wall that was happening in that stream? It was ridiculous. Like for about like 15 minutes, you couldn't even see a line of chat except like the usernames plus Twitch Prime subs. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, never in my life have I seen just a sheer wall of sub notifications.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time there was just no chat. Just all. I took a screenshot because I was like, "What the hell is this?" I'm going insane. I actually have done a lot of thinking / hand wringing about the ninja phenomenon because I think it's indicative of a lot of things. It's indicative of kind of how successful Fortnite is. Like, it's becoming that thing that people talk about in school. Like, it's that thing. Like, it was Tamagotchis like when I was a kid. And then it was like fidget spinners like a couple years back. Now it's Fortnite. That's the thing that like every kid in school is talking about now. So to see that many people showing up for this, it says so much for Fortnite's success. It says so much for how kind of celebrities are more involved in the gaming ecosystem. Like imagine this is the equivalent of like if Beyonce showed up and played Just Dance with somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the kind of thing that we're looking at here. And so the question becomes like, are we going to see more crossovers like this? Are we going to see a gaming community that's more mainstream because we've got like more celebrities and like people complain a little bit about Fortnite and kind of bringing an influx of normies into Twitch. Like, so some people I think see this as a sign of like the first inklings of Twitch moving to be more mainstream, more like have the same sort of like household impact or footprint as like YouTube. Because like if there was a time when normal people didn't really relatively speaking didn't really know about YouTube. It was kind of like a niche internet thing, and now it's ubiquitous. And I think sooner or later Twitch is going to be exactly the same way. So I think this is the first step towards that, for better or worse.
Which explains all of the Prime sub walls, because people are going, oh, this is a thing I've got with my Amazon account. Oh, I might as well sub to this because Drake's here. Cool.
Yeah, that's another great thing is that basically the whole Twitch Drake Ninja thing was like a win-win for like everybody involved, depending on who you ask. So Ninja's huge now. He's the biggest streamer on Twitch by a mile, without a question. And he's and like you said, he's blown up in the past month.
Yep.
He's gotten tens of thousands of subs, mostly because of this Fortnite promotion, I think. Drake has now got some gamer cred that he can show off. Twitch gets to brag about the insane numbers and the fact that they had celebrity star power on their streams. Just so many, yeah. I think people are going to be talking about this moment and what it foreshadowed for a long time.
I think it's ultimately going to be huge to have that sort of unfiltered way to talk with fans. Ultimately, I think that's really going to be huge for celebrities upcoming.
Right. I was going to say, because there are some other celebrities who do Twitch streams. Funnily enough, the only one I can think of right now is Mia Khalifa.
There's T-Pain does it. Deadmau5 does it.
Oh, you're right. Deadmau5 does. Yeah.
But like nobody, like Drake is something else.
Right.
Like that's next level. To have it be Drake, that's like if like Daniel Day-Lewis all of a sudden did a stream, or something like that. Like really next level. Like what the hell are you doing here? Just mind blowing shit.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. All right, moving on.
But I can see it happening. I mean, I can just see that happening, especially now that Twitch is opened up to non-gaming content. Like, I don't even think it necessarily has to be couched in a game anymore. It's just a social network tool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you've just got to wait for other celebrities or famous people to be informed of the popularity of what happened when Drake did it, and then you'll see it happening more and more often. Unless there's some sort of backlash against certain celebrities for doing it.
I think I saw a tweet. I saw one in the aftermath. It was Chrissy Teigen, and she was asked, like, okay, so who wants to watch me shake trees in Animal Crossing? and surprisingly, people were like, yeah, do it. We'd watch that.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
She'd be someone who'd be fabulous at it because she's funny, like genuinely funny.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. All right, so on to the last story that I have today for us.
Speaking of people who'd be controversial.
That's right. Logan Paul joins Twitch, and I hope you like the fabulous little Photoshop job I did there on Logan Paul to add
10,000 hours in MS Paint.
So beautiful, beautiful, fake tattoos I gave him there of Twitch. So last week Logan Paul of YouTube infamy announced he's joining Twitch to start streaming Fortnite. To me, what is kind of more interesting than Logan Paul joining Twitch in itself is that a couple days after the announcement, he already had 100,000 followers on Twitch, not having yet streamed, and today he appears to have 370,000 followers on Twitch and still hasn't yet streamed. So I suppose, I suppose we shouldn't be too surprised given he has 17 million subscribers on YouTube. If you are trying to find his account, his username is Logan Paul was taken because, well, I'm kind of sure you can guess why he has Logan Paul was taken, but
Ninja was actually talking about this shit in his stream earlier today.
Oh, really?
And because of course all his chat just he's streaming to 100,000 people. Like there's gonna be at least 20,000 of those that are gonna ask hey, have you seen Logan Paul is playing Fortnite on Twitch?
Right.
So he was asked about it, and he basically said that he's gonna find out very soon that Twitch is a very different beast from YouTube.
Yeah.
Because he said that streaming is like a marathon. You're gonna have to keep a pace. You're gonna have to keep. In YouTube, you want to be super energy, straight to the point, and show as a maximum of what you want to your content, and be entertaining right away in a small amount of time. And he said because people were saying, are you scared that big YouTubers like that are making the switch or like that? And he basically said I'm gonna start being scared when they actually understand what streaming on Twitch means versus doing something on YouTube.
So I'm kind of fascinated by this for two other reasons. First, he's already on YouTube. YouTube has clearly dropped a ball by the fact that he's coming onto Twitch instead of YouTube gaming. Secondly, he interestingly made that announcement right after the whole Ninja and Drake stream.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's opportunism is what it is. Because what he saw is probably there's never been a YouTube live stream with as many viewers as Ninja's stream. Probably not even close. If you've ever tried to watch live streams on YouTube, it is not intuitive. That shit's hard. They make it difficult to find live streams. They actually do. In fact, this is opportunistic shit because Logan put out a video that I guess tangentially had Fortnite in it or something like that, and he used Ninja's logo and face in the thumbnail.
Oh, really?
And Ninja wasn't even in it. So it's Logan Paul and Jake. It's their whole deal is shamelessness. They don't give a fuck. So they're trying to be as opportunistic as possible with this, and in the same vein of Twitch maybe going the way of a YouTube, becoming more mainstream, kind of attracting, I assume, a younger audience. Because right now, kids run YouTube. Kids are the reason that YouTube is successful.
Right.
That's what keeps that thing afloat. So I think we'll see a younger audience trailing on Logan Paul, and he'll do just fine on YouTube. He'll as soon as he streams, or on Twitch rather, he's going to dominate the list. We're going to see Logan Paul as the biggest stream on Twitch at some point. And that is just a reality that sadly we have no control over.
So, for a while, though.
We're gone.
For a while. Because his community is pretty toxic. And that's one of the things that Twitch has recently, talked about, like we talked about last week. Also, if Tyler 1's too controversial for Twitch, really? Is this going to last?
Maybe not, honestly. I think back to Ike's Poseidon. who was obnoxious in his own way, and he got booted off, and he went onto YouTube, but he's doing fine on YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a question of whether or not Twitch wants to tolerate this, but even more other YouTubers are moving to Twitch as well. Like Jack's Films, if you've ever watched him, he's apparently recently started streaming on Twitch. We're seeing that from a lot of YouTubers actually. Yeah, so Twitch is kind of becoming the place to be for live streaming, and I think we're going to eventually see like a big transition where a brand new audience is going to come to Twitch, and it's going to be a big audience, and I think it's going to change the way that that Twitch operates in a big way. We're going to see new people who don't understand the memes, they don't understand the culture, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but it's gonna have some associated, I think, growing pains.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting too. So you mentioned Jack's Films there. I had just written down Jacksepticeye to mention Jacksepticeye as being one of the folks who is going over to Twitch as well. And I find it, I do actually find it interesting that you're having a lot of YouTube celebrities, so to speak, go over and start doing some live streaming on Twitch, making agreements with Twitch. To Starfish's point earlier, you know, I guess that's a sad statement for YouTube gaming. Talking about YouTube gaming, I don't know if you guys got a notification, but I certainly got a notification from YouTube this week indicating that they're basically merging YouTube gaming and regular YouTube subscriptions into one thing. So there's going to be no difference between a subscription to a YouTube gaming channel and a regular YouTube channel now. Not that I actually realized there was before, but
yeah, I don't know why there even was a distinction.
Right.
Like why the call out? Like it's not like YouTube had any shortage of gaming content, so I don't know why in the world they would separate it.
So why it was separated like that, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, who comes over, and how they're able to succeed. So I'm seeing some chat here, just looking in chat for a moment here. So Casey Neistat, I'm not actually familiar with who that is, but Casey Neistat is streaming on Twitch and doing okay, and Starfish says that Casey is a whole different basket of puppies. Who is Casey?
A YouTuber.
Thank you for that.
I legit have no idea. so I was just waiting for somebody to save us there.
It's like, should I know who this person is?
If my understanding is right, Jenna Marbles is also coming to YouTube. Is that right? I've heard inklings. I think it's a local fellow streamer Jellygator who told me that Jenna Marbles. And Jenna Marbles is basically, for those who are unaware, she's basically YouTube royalty.
Right.
She's been on the platform forever.
Yeah.
So even she's apparently dabbling in it a little bit. So yeah. So there's if these people who are basically the top tier YouTubers, if they see some reason to come to Twitch, there's got to be both in their eye an opportunity to kind of expand. Like I think the audiences don't have a lot of overlap, to be completely honest. Mm-hmm. So, because I don't usually watch YouTube. If I'm going to watch stuff, I watch it on Twitch. So I think they see both an opportunity to kind of expand, and also they recognize that YouTube sucks at live streaming. So might as well go to a platform that's good at live streaming, and that already has a community that understands the nuances of it. Instead of, because I don't know if you've ever watched a YouTube live stream and read the comments. It is it's about on par what you would expect from a YouTube comment section.
Can I just input my worthless opinion for a second? Like, I think YouTubers coming to Twitch doesn't even matter, honestly. They're two completely different sorts of, like, audience and output. Like, a lot of YouTubers could literally be going to Twitch because it's something new. It's to break the monotonous way of making YouTube videos 24/7. Like everyone else has said, a lot of YouTubers will just fail and not like Twitch at all, but some will like Twitch more than YouTube. Whether or not that's a YouTube/Twitch, deficit or whatever, we'll find out in the future. But I don't think it really changes much, honestly.
Yeah, I think a lot of them have the benefit of being like there's a line, right? Where if you are X famous or X successful online, you can go to whatever service you want, and that service is gonna explode when all your followers come with you. So most of those YouTubers we were talking about are big enough that they could go to Twitch, or they could leave YouTube, Or, they could go to Mixer for God's sakes, and I bet they would get people to follow them. So
my point is that Twitch is already such a big community that like someone coming over isn't going to drastically change Twitch at all. The people who come from YouTube will adapt to Twitch, not Twitch will adapt to the people coming from YouTube.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and yeah, I think you're right, and it'll be interesting to see because, like, Giga was telling us that Ninja had kind of said, that they'll get to see that it's very different to do a Twitch stream than it is to concentrate excellence in a YouTube video. Because a YouTube video is kind of that concentrate of content, whereas to the point of people who stream, no, you're streaming, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it may be, and not all of it's going to be gold. So that's a long time too. So I just saw some comments there too. That I saw a comment from Jellygator. So Jack edits his YouTube videos on Twitch so he can make pre-money to his money. So yeah, so that's pretty interesting. All right, so let's move on to. Let me see if I can do this transition smoothly. And no, I can't. So there we go. But yeah, I tried so hard.
A noble effort.
Let's move on to our main topic here. So toxic gaming behavior. Riot, Blizzard, and Twitch are teaming up to fight toxic gaming behavior. So Alex, what's this all about?
So what we're looking at is, as you're all probably pretty well aware, we are increasingly hearing more and more about communities that are hostile or unfriendly or unwelcoming in games, both in games and in services like Twitch. And we're seeing an increasing push to try to make games more friendly. We've seen this in the past from Overwatch. Riot's put in systems. They talk about systems where you can rate players. You have a reputation. Blizzard touts its reporting systems and talks about how it's improving them to make the game environment more friendly and help identify toxic players and keep them out. But for the first time, what we're seeing is that a lot of these companies who at first were trying to approach the problem their own way are now working together to create solutions to toxicity. So this new alliance has been formed, Fair Play Alliance, and what they're doing is they actually had, I guess, a day-long seminar, kind of a little symposium at GDC, which just wrapped up very recently, if you weren't aware. They were talking about ways to tackle the behavior, what's worked, what hasn't, what solutions they think they could think up. And one of the things they're really targeting is a consistent set of policies so that the expectations are the same from game to game. So now it's harder for people to say they didn't know, giving the benefit of the doubt. If everybody's kind of operating along the same rules, all these companies, then it's easier for them to say, well, you don't get the excuse anymore. You should have been behaving. You knew what the expectation was. So it's really interesting to see this development, and there's some question as to how effective it's ultimately going to be. Like, how do you ultimately deal with toxicity, especially in an age where we tend to idolize people for their toxicity? You look at things, you look at streamers, and usually the streamers who get the most attention in games that are very prominent. So we're talking about things like League of Legends and Overwatch. Those people that get the attention are the people who are most boisterous, who kick up the most dirt, so to speak, who kind of make waves, for better or worse. So in a culture where we idolize those people, how do we actually combat toxicity? That's the question, I think.
I know, I forgot what country it is. They literally put all of their internet accounts. Hello?
Hey, Rush.
Sorry, my keyboard just died. What happened? What they're doing in another country is that their account, they're making it so all your internet thing is the same as your social security and stuff. So if you're basically an ass on the internet, they know who you are exactly, and then you get punished for it.
Korea does that, yeah. Korea actually associates you with a national internet account. Really? So nothing you really do online in Korea is anonymous. You sign up for services or you sign up for websites, and you have to associate that with your account. So if you're being shitty online, there's some accountability there. China, meanwhile, has been talking about implementing a sort of, I think they called it a social, I forget what they called it, social currency or a social monitoring sort of. Yeah, so if you've got a bad reputation online, that'll follow you around. Like, you can't hide behind anonymity to protect yourself from being shitty. Of course, there are some, I think, very deep and significant concerns there about privacy online, and the ability to be forgiven. Like the idea that you can clean the slate if you were like shitty when you were younger. That stuff doesn't follow you, and I think there are some exceptions for that, but. And that's certainly one way to approach people being bad online, not just in games, but in general.
That is China's social credit system.
Social credit, that's what it was. I wanted to call it a social network, and I was like, that's not right.
It's basically, if you do nice things, then you get little perks in life, like short hospital times. Whereas if you're an ass, then you get longer hospital times and stuff like that.
But in a weird way,
from travel.
Yeah. See, that the thing that's really messed up about, and this is, still a little off topic, but the idea of like gamifying kindness kind of makes kindness artificial, and then you got to ask questions about like, does it matter if the kindness is artificial so long as you're being kind? Like, there's some layers there. But yeah, that's getting way off topic.
I was gonna say, that's like when you come to the United States and everyone's all friendly and smiles to you and says, have a nice day all the time.
It's because they're caught off guard by the accent.
Just come to England. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, sir, would you like some help with your shopping? Fuck off.
I wonder how much this dovetails in, because another one of the news stories that we opted not to talk about this week is that Overwatch initiated a how did they word it? Avoid as teammate feature this week. So you can mark somebody avoid as teammate, and their auto, matchup system won't match you with them anymore.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and I wonder whether or not that's going to be something that is factored into how players are punished, because that kind of gives them another vector to understand how much people like playing with somebody. So if you see somebody like getting reported for like being shitty in voice chat or whatever, and I don't think like I'm like 95% sure Blizzard doesn't like record voice chat or anything. So if somebody's like telling you to fuck off in voice chat, there's not really
people use Blizzard voice chat.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
well in Overwatch
they
do. In Overwatch they do, definitely, and actually increasingly in Heroes when they're doing like just queuing up with the randos. So yeah, there's a lot of that, and since Blizzard doesn't really record all your voice chat, they've got to kind of rely on circumstantial evidence to really be able to do anything actionable. And if they see that maybe somebody has been consistently avoided as a teammate, and I gotta believe they're doing analytics on this stuff. Blizzard loves analytics. So knowing that, it gives a lot of opportunity for them to kind of approach it from different vectors and be like, okay, well, we can see that you're being shitty because clearly people don't want to play with you. Probably not a coincidence. Probably not just people, avoiding you for your bad skill, because you can only avoid, people don't know this, 2 people at a time. You can only avoid 2 at a time, and you avoid them for a week. So you've got to be really, really selective with who those 2 people are. So if it's somebody you're actively avoiding, they're probably doing more than just like being a bad teammate. They're probably just actively really shitty to you.
I did not know it was that limited.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting too. When I heard 2, I thought I had misheard. I was like, is that it? But at the same time, I could see, like somebody just like, if there was no limit, they would just stack it up, be like, oh, I don't like that guy. That guy was a shitty fair or whatever. So I like that they limited it, because it makes you really, really, really think about who it is that you absolutely would not want to queue with. And then in a week, you get another go at it.
But 2 seems a little bit low. That's all I'm saying.
It is.
Maybe you get 5 a week or something.
I gotta wonder how they arrived at that number, honestly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're kind of getting off topic.
Well, so Baked Snake says you get an email if you receive a lot of people avoiding you in a week. Confirmed by Jeff's developer update. They mentioned they will adjust the number of avoid player slots. So.
Oh, so they won't get you in trouble, but they'll let you know that people are avoiding you?
I
interesting.
know. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
What do they do? Just send you an email saying "Get good, you suck."
Maybe.
Not even necessarily. Well, that's interesting, because it's That's a very... This is like, I think, one of the first times I've ever heard of a reporting system that was and that's ultimately what it is. It's kind of a reporting system in a roundabout way. Yeah, and this is, I think, the first time I've ever heard of a system like that in like notifying you without punishing you. Like usually if you're shitty or people don't like you, the game will do something, benign, like silence you. We've seen a lot of that. Players get silenced all the time. This is the first time I think I've heard of them just like shooting you an email as a way to be, and it's kind of like kind of meeting them halfway or like bringing them to the table and being like, hey, so listen, people seem to avoid you a lot. That's concerning. So think about why that might be and maybe, reconsider. So it's really kind of a nice way to deal with it.
It's not really punishing, isn't it?
Yeah, not at all.
It's like it's almost childish in a way, man. It's like when a kid won't shut up in class and you have to take him apart. Like, okay, you're disturbing the class. I'm just gonna tell you that you've been like it's a bit childish for a system, isn't it?
I feel like if people are getting reported enough to get this email or whatever in the first place, most people's reactions to the people getting that would be like, oh, haters gonna hate. They just need to get good. They just don't understand how good I am. Like, I don't think anyone would take it seriously because they're toxic players to begin with.
So, is there at any point like an actual punishment, like you get banned or something like that? Like, what's the line?
I assume you would never ultimately get banned for it. I think because really, I guess the punishment, quote unquote, would be that, like, maybe if so many people were avoiding you, it took you longer to find games.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what kind of.
But even that would take like, since everybody can only pick 2, how many people would have to be avoiding you before it actively affected your gameplay? You know what I mean? So I think that's nice. Really, I think when people are increasingly realizing is that it's difficult for them to actually attack the root, or like, just like you can't really kill toxicity by just banning people, because toxicity isn't like a fringe thing. It's cultural. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, yeah, it's a personality trait that everyone has.
Not just a personality trait necessarily, but I look at it like when, and this is, I think, a bigger problem on the internet at large, is that we have a tendency to glorify people who are terrible. Like when we see like somebody doing like a dumb music video that's like boisterous and crappy, like some, like Logan Paul shit. The way that we reward people like Logan Paul for doing shitty things is we talk about it and share the video, and we make it the thing that's present on everyone's minds. We basically elevate all the shittiest things that happen, and those people get more famous, and there's no punishments for the things that they do. And then the message that sends is that behavior is okay. So, and the same thing happens with, gamers who are obnoxious. We see people like, I think Defran in Overwatch, Tyler 1 in League of Legends, like people who, they kind of make a shtick out of being shitty, and their reward is that people are like, they keep coming back for that shittiness because we wind up elevating it.
True. So I was just trying to, and apologies for anyone who's looking on the stream because I'm just kind of scrolling up and down on this article, but I was trying to understand what exactly it is that they're doing right now. Is this just saying they're all getting together to kind of define what we consider acceptable behavior, or?
Right now, I think it's really early stages in this. Yeah. I think they're just talking right now.
I mean, I see the statement here. Having to be a company that steps out and says, we're going to be the ones to do this is kind of scary. This is an opportunity for all of us to say, what if we work together as an industry? So it's kind of that industry self-policing thing, I guess, right?
You'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably just communicating on how they all handle the things themselves and like how they can do it as a group. Just formulate ideas.
Yeah.
So like, if someone's an asshole on one game, they'll get treated the same as being an asshole on another game. Like the punishment's the same and stuff like that.
And also, it's a great way because for a long time, all of these companies have kind of been tackling the problem independently. This was actually when they had their day-long kind of like seminar series at GDC. Partly what they were doing is discussing the things they had tried and the challenges they faced and what worked and what didn't. So now that the game companies are more actively working together, hopefully the result will be smarter solutions that do a better job of just not just like punishing people, but actively discouraging bad behavior, or rather encouraging good behavior. Now, in a weird way, some of that is actually mechanical, like it's gameplay stuff. Like if you put incentives for people to be shitty to each other in games, people will be shitty. So it's as much about systems that are used to identify bad behavior or errant players as it is designing games to encourage through their objectives people to play them in a certain way. So there's a lot of layers to it, and so it's cool to see all these companies actually working together to kind of actively come up with solutions.
Yeah, and I think as long as that's what they're doing, working together to come up with a standard set of what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and solutions, that's fine. Where it might cross the line is where, if for example you start having a blacklist, cross company kind of blacklist, and the reason I'm thinking of that because other industries have tried similar kinds of things. The industry that I work for actually tried implementing blacklists across different companies. So basically a bunch of companies got together. They said if we have people who we know are and I'm trying to be careful not to mention the industry, but if we have people that we know are not good people, then we should blacklist them from being able to participate in all of these kind of things, right? And so the industry created their own blacklist, which the courts quickly shut down, basically. So I think, and I don't think anyone would necessarily want that. It's kind of what you guys were talking about earlier with the things that are going on in China and Korea, right? Where it's all linked together as a single thing. I mean, it's interesting. It's good to see the industry itself realizing that it should concentrate on this and should do something about it. Not only for the PR perspective, but so that you don't get the situation where the federal government or someone steps in and says, "Hey, here's what the rules are going to be. Here's how you're going to have to police this," right? So it's interesting.
Yeah, I think the idea of kind of some inter-company cooperation, like if you are shitty in this one game, it's gonna come down on you in a whole bunch of different games.
Yeah,
is a really interesting approach to things. Kind of like how Steam could theoretically do something like that, insofar as if you're being shitty on Steam, all those services are tied together. They kind of all use Steam as the online platform. Yeah. So I think Blizzard does, to a certain extent, do a little enforcement cross game. If you're being shitty, they'll silence you in one game or another, or just outright. I've seen people who are very exploitative, they get IP banned occasionally.
Yeah. So Execution says, having a League username, a Blizzard battle tag, an Origin ID, all synced together and updated all together. I would hate that. I don't want to see that. But yeah. So it's interesting. Anything else we want to say about that one?
Be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other. Absolutely.
Be kind to one another.
Yeah. I like the quote here too. I don't know who it's from. There is no IRL and online anymore. This is all just reality now. So that's an interesting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of miss boundaries.
Right. All right. Well, that was our last topic for today. So before we play that beautiful, beautiful PodChamp's theme and exit here, is there anything else we should discuss or talk about that we didn't have on the agenda today?
Do you have any clue what we're playing on PodChamp Plays next week?
I do not. So yeah. So anyone who is in the stream chat and would like to suggest games for us to play, please go ahead. And if you could keep them at a low price point, preferably free, that's the kind of price point we prefer. But
so Fortnite.
Dude, I'll play Fortnite. I'm down.
I'm down. I'll do it. No question.
I wouldn't mind trying it. I've never tried it.
I'd rather shoot myself in the foot.
You probably will. So.
I definitely would if I was playing Fortnite. 100%.
There's no friendly. You're good.
Yes, you can't shoot your foot or anybody else's foot on your team for that matter.
No. This podcast is not sponsored by Fortnite. Just to be clear.
However, Epic Games, if you're listening.
This podcast is sponsored by, and I'm really bad at arranging it. There you go. This podcast is sponsored by Balls Guarana.
Damn it.
Okay,
Balls
just to be clear, it
Guarana.
absolutely is not sponsored by Balls Guarana at all in any way. Balls, please don't sue us. So.
Like, totally unrelated, but did you actually go through with that shit, Alex, where you emailed them and stuff?
No, because I looked at the form. Like, they sent me the form. It was like, hey, let us know, like, if you're an influencer. And it was like, hey, how many Twitter viewers do you have? Or Twitter followers do you have? Hey, how many YouTube subscribers do you have? And then I looked at my numbers, and it was like, embarrassed about them. And so I just didn't bother following up. I was just like, pass. I pass. Sorry.
Yeah. So join us next week for possibly Fortnite. We haven't decided yet because we don't really want Rux to shoot himself in the foot, but we'll.
Dude, Rux could be the caster, man, if he
There you
doesn't want to play.
That means I have to pretend that I'm enthusiastic. That's worse.
That's true.
You don't have to pretend you're enthusiastic.
And here we
We're
see someone dropping down. Oh, they've hit the roof.
Dude, we're gonna give you such I-tier gameplay that you won't even have to pretend. Like, you're gonna be amazed, dude.
Literally
look.
the edge of your seat.
Oh, look, he's built another wall to protect himself from the people shooting him. Oh, look,
Oh my God,
the
what
people shooting
Starfish
him have
are
built
you
a wall.
doing?
Who would know?
Oh man. Well,
some got sniped, yay.
I think we demonstrated our pure gameplay skills in Awesome Knots last week, so I'm excited to demonstrate more of our gameplay skills. So if anyone's interested in watching how the PodChampions play Awesome Knots, that's...
how are we called? PodChampions?
No, I said
Champions.
PodChampions.
Okay, because I for some reason it didn't do the sound for me, so I heard like, if you want to see how the PodChampions play. I was like, what are we called?
Okay, pod campers, let's go.
Then we have finally figured out the technical details of how to actually automatically transfer Twitch VODs to YouTube with zero effort. It was tough. It took us a few months, but we finally got it.
There's a button.
There's a button. You just have to know where the button is. But once you find the button, you just... Hey, did Starfish, did you just put that KFC emote in there?
Yes.
Oh, that's an amazing
I just found it, so I put it in.
Starfish is staying on brand. Let her go.
So for those of you who are listening on YouTube, I have no idea what we're all giggling about. So obviously we have Twitch chat here.
You need to do like a little capture and put it on the screen right now, I think.
Well, what I can do is, if I go back to this scene right here, I can actually drag the this window across here. There you go, and you can see what we were laughing at. So the KFC bucket, there you go, right there. And there. So, all right, that said, we've kind of lost the plot now.
You're welcome.
So thank you everyone for joining us today. We are the PodChamp Podcast. You can find us here on Twitch most Sundays at 6 p.m. Central. You can also find our VODs here for 14 days, and we are now pushing them all to YouTube also. So join us there. We're also on Twitch at PodChamp Podcast. Now I'm going to play the outro song, which is the same as the intro song, that beautiful PodChampions theme by Giga. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Boy.
See you later, shitlords.
Someone has to do it.
Yeah. So for the next minute, we've got the theme playing, and anything we say here, everyone can hear.